So I finally read Monster, and it was fire. In fact, fire is an understatement. It was, without a doubt, a masterpiece on the same level as other great works such as Berserk, Vinland Saga, and Monster by Kanye West on the critically acclaimed album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Gotcha.
Now, let me say, one of the reasons I started reading Monster is because I was curious after seeing so many people online say Johan Liebert is the greatest anime/manga villain ever, which is just an absurd amount of hype for a character, right?
Wrong!
Man, this guy is definitely one of the most well-written villains I've ever experienced in any medium. Like an onion, Johan's character is extremely complex with many layers which are slowly peeled back throughout the course of the manga. Yes, I just referenced Shrek in a Monster video. Peak recognizes peak. Now, if you've been living under a rock and don't know what Monster is, it's a manga by Naoki Urasawa about a genius brain surgeon, Kenzo Tenma, who decides to save the life of a young boy over the mayor. What a great Samaritan, right? Except the boy turns out to be Johan, a serial killer and master manipulator. Yeah, maybe should have picked the mayor there, bro. Now, if you're into psychological thrillers, it's a must-read or must-watch without a doubt. In fact, it's so good, I think everyone should at least give Monster a chance regardless of their genre preferences. And I say that because it's a story that can genuinely change how you look at life. It wrestles with important universal themes such as the meaning of life, the worth of human life, identity, nihilism, and much more. Not only that, but Urasawa's writing is masterful. How he deals with these themes are not heavy-handed, but cerebral and very subtle at times. He doesn't overtly endorse any view pertaining to those themes, at least not until the end, and even then that's arguable. So throughout the story, you are presented with the deepest darkness found within humanity, different characters with different viewpoints and actions in response to that darkness, and you have to draw your own conclusions. In that way, it's akin to an extremely sobering look in the mirror. For example, Monster is one of the best examples I've read that has thematic depth in both its philosophical aspects as well as psychological. We delve deep into the minds of both Johan and Tenma, seeing glimpses of their thoughts, memories of life-changing events, what makes them emotional and why, and their stances on different philosophies of life, which needless to say are antithetical to each other like pineapple is to pizza. Yeah, that's right, if you like pineapple on pizza, you're more evil than Johan. I know for sure that evil bastard Johan likes pineapple pizza. Anyways, it is here where, instead of giving an easy answer by endorsing either side, we see both Tenma and Johan embody their opposing philosophies, which are informed by their history and psychological state. They show the dualism of man, nihilism versus humanism, Xbox versus PlayStation, conservators versus libtards, based versus cringe. If you love Berserk's dynamic between Guts and Griffith and the way they embody opposing philosophies to an even biblical proportion, you'll love Monster's dynamic with Tenma and Johan. And so we basically observe their actions throughout the story, how it impacts other characters and how they respond in turn, and then we make up our own stance on things. Besides that, the writing is consistently exciting with suspenseful moments and engaging characters. And speaking of characters, Urasawa does such an amazing job with a very large cast. While Tenma and Johan are without a doubt important, they're not even my favorite characters in Monster. That honor would go to the two absolute Giga Chads, Inspector Lunge and Grimmer. You also can't talk about Johan without mentioning Nina, who is basically inseparable from him as a character. I wasn't expecting Monster to have such a large cast, but I would be here all day if I was gonna list how many great characters there were in this series. It's really one of my favorite aspects of the entire series. While it can feel a bit like plot convenience at times, the way every character has their own backstory, character arc, role in the overall narrative, and weave in and out of the plot is simply amazing. From minor to major characters, the amount shown that also resonate with you emotionally really gives you that feeling of a large journey spanning hundreds of miles over the course of years and years. I mean, you got a Chad detective with a computer brain, Ryan Gosling from Drive 2011, except they call him Martin for some reason, The Baby, Anton Chigurh, and many more. What's not to like? But seriously, in terms of large casts, I would put this up there with Fullmetal Alchemist and Hunter x Hunter. The only one off the top of my head that straight up surpasses it in this aspect is Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
This is the shit!
The art is also amazing, whether it's a 2-page spread, an action sequence, or a more suspenseful one. Everything is drawn extremely well. Also, this is my first Urasawa work, and one of the first things that really drew me in was the character designs and the faces. They're extremely expressive, and I especially love how the eyes are drawn. As they say, the eyes are the window to the soul, and when you look into the eyes of these characters, you can feel what they're feeling. It's no wonder that Urasawa told the Monster anime's character designer that they should never deviate from how Johan's eyes were expressed in the manga, down to the millimeter, and that is not an exaggeration. Now, praise aside, what about the things I didn't like about Monster? Well, like I said earlier, I suppose some instances where characters meet do feel a little contrived, but it didn't impede on my enjoyment much, if at all, or break my suspension of disbelief. Also, sometimes I felt like I wanted story events to move a bit faster, but that may have been because I really wanted to see what was going to happen to the point of impatience. However, I think my hottest take regarding Monster will be regarding Johan. Don't get me wrong, he is an amazing character and probably the most well-written one in the series. And I get that he's a master manipulator with the devil's tongue, who can see and prey on the darkness within people, push them to do his bidding, or even die with mere words. But I wish we saw a little more pushback against his manipulation. For example, there's an infamous scene where there's a character who essentially knows the true evil and manipulative nature of Johan. Yet when he's just about to catch him, Johan preys on his insecurities and past to basically neutralize him as a threat. Which makes sense on paper, but like, bro. Me personally, if I know you're evil and manipulative and you try and manipulate me and bring up my darkest secrets, my past, and bring my family into this shit, bro, I don't care how in the wrong I am, I'ma beat your ass up, bro. Like, I am cranking up my ignorance levels up to 1000%.
We don't give a
Like, I get it, words and manipulation are powerful, but there are some people out there who are either too stubborn or too ignorant to be reasoned with or manipulated with words. And I feel like I would have liked to see someone like that in the world of Monster, in the same room as Johan. But even then, this does not take away from him as a character, and it's still not even that big of a gripe at all. Again, these are pretty much nitpicks. So yeah, Monster is a masterpiece. Definitely a 10 out of 10 in my book, and you should definitely read or watch it. Alright, so now let me talk about some spoiler stuff real quick, alright? Because there's some stuff I really want to talk about. So if you don't want to get spoiled, click off the vid right now, and thanks for watching. Alright, so with that out of the way, can we talk about the Giga Chat Inspector Lunge, bro? Why have I not heard of this guy until now? Like, all I ever hear is Johan and maybe Tenma every now and then. Which, like, yeah, they're cool, but like, bro, the moment this dude pulled up talking to Tenma with his fingers tweaking and shit, and everyone around him is like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And this guy responds with, I'm typing, bro. I'm recording info into my brain. Like, bro, I knew I was gonna love this mad lad. And bro, when he was fighting Roberto and this dude was sus as fuck raving about Johan's calculations and shit, this man Lunge checked him, bro. He said, calculations? According to the computer in my head, that shit don't add up. And then he shuts his ass up real quick with the gat. Absolute Chad, bro. Not to mention the character development he has at the end is amazing. And let's not forget our boy Grimmer too, the magnificent Steiner. Bro really came in halfway through the series and stole the entire show with one of the best character arcs in the entire manga. And he probably had the best hands in the entire series too. Dude got hoed his entire life, and instead of becoming a serial killer, he became a Giga Chad. Pour one out for the homie Grimmer. Anyway, that's it. Like and subscribe, or else I'll have to get Johan to manipulate you to do